Hi everybody, this is me, Anthony Fridgley, known as Anthony Fridgley 2003, my YouTube channel here. And today, I'm gonna, I'm kind of pretty upsetting right now because this video, I'm gonna admit my wrongdoings for January 31st of this year, 2026. But this time in my wrongdoings, it's about me supporting my YouTubers that I shouldn't be friends with. It's about my YouTubers that I was supporting, but I shouldn't be doing that nowadays and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, which I was friends with Dan Sobel, Amanda Cartret, and Christopher Leon and some other YouTubers behind our backs, for example. So yeah. So I decided to admit my wrongdoings and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. And and something I should have been done that a long time ago and all kinds of stuff. And I didn't realize a lot that a lot of YouTubers are hating me and cutting ties me. So yeah. So yeah. So I'm just gonna admit my wrongdoing. But this wrongdoings is just for me supporting bad YouTubers that I shouldn't be that I should have done that a long time ago. So yeah. Because I remember that Brendan Pippin and some other users had cutting ties me for good. Well, I know Brendan Pippin hates me for good. Had cutting ties me recently since back in July 30th of 2024, but he still hates me though. Even though I'm kind of neutral to Brendan Pippin, mostly his videos and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. So yeah. So I'm just gonna do admitting my wrongdoings. So yeah. So let's get started with this video, shall we? So here we go. Let's get started. I'm good. Here's what I should have done back in 2024, 2025, and recently in 2026. Let's start back in 2024, either 2025, but let's start with back in 2024. I remember back number one. I remember back in 2024. I didn't realize before they cut tizing me. I didn't before Brendan Pippin hates me. I remember that Homer Simpson, the YouTuber, just made a cringe video on me because I was friends with Dan Sobel and Amanda Cartwright behind our backs. Yeah. But yeah, he did make a cringe video on me. I think back in July 15th or 6th, somewhere in the mid of July of 2024. I remember Homer Simpson just made a cringe video on me. The reasons why he did that to me is because I was supporting Dan Sobel and Amanda Cartwright when I was making a letter for Dan Sobel and a birthday message for Dan Sobel and making a shout out video for Amanda Cartwright for me showing my made up character Silly Girl, but I still even though I did like my made up character Silly Girl myself. So yeah. I should not I shouldn't be that was kind of really my fault, but I did know that I already delete my letter segments for Dan Sobel and a birthday message for Dan Sobel. It's a good thing I already deleted that video. I only made a birthday message for Dan Sobel once since I had my YouTube channel recently, which I uploaded back in 2024. It's a good thing I didn't make a birthday message for Dan Sobel back in 2025. So yeah. And I did delete a video of me making a birthday message for Amanda Cartwright back in 2023 to 2024. So yeah, because I'm afraid me making birthday message for Dan Sobel and Amanda Cartret make our happy birthdays cringeworthy. So is making letters for Dan Sobel. So yeah, I did delete all my Dan Sobel's letter segment except some when I made a letter for Nate along with Dan Sobel and me and the and my except a video of me showing me with the cows because I'm just still keeping that video. So yeah, because I just got it on video of me because of that real cow mooing sound. So I'm still keeping that. So yeah, and after he made a cringe video on me later, right after Dancel was changing his pajamas, and when he made a video on Dancel becoming a pedophile back in 2024 and uploaded a video, he actually right after he made a video of Dancel as a pedophile, then later he blocked me and unsubscribed to my channel for good. Yeah, no kidding. This time he hates me for good. I can't believe, and that kind of hurting my feelings back in July 2024. That kind of hurting my feelings back then. Yeah, that one kind of hurt my feelings because he blocked me and unsubscribed to me for he said that I was friends with Dan Soul for no reason. Well, actually, I just liked him for a reason back then because I like he likes Blues Clues stuff, taste test videos, including his letter segments. I just don't like the bad stuff he did. That's what I like back in 2024. I remember he used to have rights for me to like Dan Soul, but not anymore until he changing his pajamas in front of the kids on TikTok. So I decided to, and not only that, I know Ryan Sylvia told me that I cannot be trusted. I think back in before, I think either May of 2024, I believe. I'm not sure, but unfortunately, I told him no thanks, I'm good. I shouldn't have done that. I could have cut ties him, but after Ryan Sylvia told me I should cut ties him. That was really my fault, you guys. I shouldn't be friends with Dan Sobel in the first place. And the other users are right about not trusting him, and I was wrong for being friends with Dan Sobel after, but only when I only I after, but only but only when after he was changing his pajamas in front of the kids on TikTok. They used to handle other people's opinions on Dancel after he was screaming back in 2020. Dancel was screaming back in 2022, but they did handle their opinions on Dan Sobel until 20 until until 2024. They opinions are bashing. They're gonna bash people's opinions on Dan Sobel nowadays until 2024. So yeah, but I did start to hate cutting ties him, and I did hate him the first time back in August 1st of 2024, and then unfortunately, I guess I shouldn't have done that a long time ago. I did start to like him again back in December 2024, but I start now. But it's a good thing. I did start to hate him back in 2024, and I did start to hate him the first time back in 2024. But I start liking him back in December of 2024, right after I found out when Dan Soul hates me and criticizing me, and that kind of hurts my feelings. I should have just stayed. I should have. I should have stayed. I should have. I should have. I should have stayed. I should have just moved on with Dan Sobel. I should have stayed hating Dan Sobel instead of just starting liking him again. I should have started liking him again back in December 2024. But right now, until but right now, as of April 7th of 2025, I start cutting ties Dan Sobel again. Yeah, I'm glad I glad I don't like him. I'm glad I hate him. I'm glad I already cut ties him recently and back in April 7th of 2025. Right after Dan Sobel closed his account and right before Jordan Bowens made a rant on Dan Sobel. So yeah. And I regret being friends with Dan Sobel back in 2021 until I start hating him the first time in 2024. But I start liking him again in, in December of 2024. But now I start to hate him again. Well, I don't just hate him, I just have no opinions on him. I start not liking him again recently, which is back in April 7th of 2025. Yeah. And a lot of YouTubers were proud of me since I'm no longer friends with Dan Sobel except Brendan Pippin, Andy Ho, told me that I'm in no position on hating Dan Sobel. Well, right now I do hate. Right now I have no opinions on Andy Ho as well. So yeah, even though I'm kind of neutral to Brendan Pippin because of his VHS and VCRs, because of his VHS videos, of Brendan Pippin. Even though I'm neutral to Brendan Pippin, just not. But I just can't. But even though he hates me, so yeah. And it's a good thing Homer Simpson, the YouTuber, deleted a video of a cringe video on me. I'm glad Homer Simpson, the YouTuber, had already deleted the video of of making a cringe video on me, which he made a cringe video on me back in July of 2024. Yeah, cause he that video is no longer on YouTube. So Homer Simpson, if you're watching this, you did a good. Thank you so much for deleting a video of a cringe video on me. I am really proud of you. So yeah, but unfortunately, after I cut ties Dan Sobel, I still like Amanda. Unfortunately, I still like Amanda Cartret. I didn't not cut ties Amanda Cartret but I did start hating Amanda Cartret the first time recently, back in I think June 18th or 19th of I believe back in either June 18th or June 19th of 2025, which is last year. I started encouraging her because I can't take all my haters, which is Ryan Sylvia. Right after Ryan Sylvia blocked me, still told me that I cannot be trusted because I was friends with Amanda Cartret behind our backs. I decided not trusting him anymore. And I remember back in I think somewhere April of 2025, um, I decided to right before I started hating Dan Sobel recently. I just I remember Ryan Sylvia hates me again, so I did I did start so I decided to start hating I just started to hate Dan Sobel, but unfortunately, some YouTubers like Brandon Pippin and Andy Ho told me I'm in no position on hating Dan Sobel. So yeah. Well, right now we don't like Andy Ho anyways. Well, we do hate Andy Ho anyways, so why not? So I can't do apology video for Andy Ho because we hate Andy Ho. Or maybe I might do. So yeah. So yeah. And yeah, I I regret being friends with I regret being friends with Dan Sobel back in 2021, but I started to hate him recently. Well, I started hating him the first time in August 1st of 2024, but I started hating him. I start liking him again in December of 2024. I shouldn't have done that. I have no rights to like him again, but I should have a rights to like him to hate him. They used to let me to they used to handle other people if they used to respect my opinion on Dan Sobel when they for the Dan Sobel haters, but not anymore. Except Jordan Bowen made the game in 2006. So yeah, of course they didn't bash my opinions, but I just had no choice for cutting ties with him. But it's a good thing but it's a good thing I cut ties with Dan Sobel, which that's good. I'm really glad I did that. So yeah, and I regret being friends with Dan Sobel back in 2021, but now I hate him recently in 2025, which is April 7th of last year, 2025. And I regret being friends with Amanda Cartwright. I think back in 2020, before I know Dan Sobel, but now I starting to hate her recently, back in June 18th or 19th of 2025, because I do realize he did something wrong. Because I know Amanda Cartwright, I do realize that Dan Sobel did some bad things, such as screaming at Devin Osborne, being a social media guy and all kinds of stuff. And I remember he was changing his pajamas in front of the kids on TikTok back in July 2024. And I do understand why, and I do realize they wouldn't handle other people are bashing their opinions on Dan Sobel and Amanda Cartwright nowadays. For everyone who was friends with Dan Sobel and Amanda Cartwright. That was really my fault, you guys. I am very sorry that I was friends with Dan Sobel and Amanda Cartwright. And maybe some other YouTubers too, as a bonus. And finally, back this year, 2026, I was friends with Christopher Leon behind our backs. But in case the truth is, you guys, I didn't realize that I had no rights to be friends with him. I thought I have a right to be friends with Christopher Leon. I thought he was a good YouTuber again. I thought he was innocent because I know Christopher Leon hates Dan Sobel so much. I know he really hates Dan Sobel, and I know he has. And I would have been glad if he has a right to hate him. But even though I have no opinions on, but nowadays I started to hate Christopher Leon recently. Back on January 28th of 2026, right after I found out that Ryan Sylvia hates me again. Back in 2026. Last time back in 2026 or recently. I don't know if he hates me now still, because I just found out he didn't. I look on his post on Ryan Sylvia. I couldn't find me. They blocked me, and so is Nate the Gay Me in 2006. I guess the reasons why. I guess because I'm no longer friends with Christopher Leon. Maybe that's why. But right now, I regret being friends with Christopher Leon now. I regret being friends with Christopher Leon now. But nowadays, I used to be friends with him. I think not too long ago. I don't know if I was friends with him a long time ago, but I was friends with him a little bit, just not much. I would have been neutral too, and I would have been neutral to. I mean, I kind of do like him, but I was neutral to him. I don't just like him. I just kind of neutral. It was okay. It's just not my favorite. But I used to like him not too long ago. But now I hate him. So yeah, I kind of don't. I don't just hate him. I just don't like him. I just have no opinions on um Christopher Leon, because I just realized he did something wrong and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, and I regret being friends with Christopher Leon right now. And I used to like him, but not anymore. So I am really sorry. So all my haters out there, which is Brennan Pippin and Diego Hernandez Romero and a lot of YouTubers out there, I have an apology message for all my haters out there. I am very sorry that I was friends with Christopher Leon, Dan Sobel, Amanda Cartret, and all kinds of stuff. I am very sorry, all my haters out there. I was friends with Christopher Leon, Dan Sobel, and Amanda Cartret, and I regret being friends with them now. But thank goodness I am not friends with them anymore. I am no longer being friend. I am no longer friends with them anymore. And I am never going to be friends with Dan Sobelman and Cartray ever again. This time for good. And so is Christopher Leon. And the YouTubers for a bonus I do hate. I'm but they didn't force me to cut ties. I did cut ties myself, which is Bubba Guerrero. I do hate Bubba Guerrero. And I kinda don't like Eric Payton, even though Eric Payton is old news nowadays. And I kind of don't like Ben Lucero. I don't think I like. I kind of don't like Anthony Shavot. Actually, I kind of don't like. I'm not sure what else I do not like. Oh yeah, I kind of don't like Michael Ruffins. I kind of don't like Michael Ruffins, and rarely for. And I kind of don't like Tracy and Unicorn as well. Even though it kind of sounds like a weird chipmunk thing, but yeah, I'm not sure. Is there any other YouTubers I cannot trust? Just let me know. I might cut ties them, but I don't have to just hate it. I just will have to have no opinions. So yeah. So yeah, I am very sorry that I was friends with him. I'm really sorry that I was friends with Dan Sobel, Amanda Cartret, Christopher Leon, and some other YouTubers out there. Can you please forgive me? I hope. Thank you. But if you don't want to trust me, I don't care. Just if you don't want to trust, if you guys don't want to forgive me, that's fine. And yeah, that was kind of a wrongdoing video. I don't know what else I gotta say. I'm not sure what else I'm missing. But there has to be something though. But I am no longer. I'm glad I. Thank goodness I already cut ties with Dan Sobel, Amanda Cartret, and Christopher Leon, because I am never going to be friends with him ever again. For blocking me, I remember they hate me because I was friends with Dan Sobel, and recently I was friends with Christopher Leon, and or Amanda Cartret, because I just realized that Amanda Cartret did some bad things. Like I remember wishing her a happy 9/11 and some of her cringe videos. I don't know if I have a rights to like Cocomelon, but I'm kind of I don't just hate if you. So I guess for my opinion on Cocomelon, I mean I would have been. I'm kind of neutral, but most of all, I have no opinions on Cocomelon except that old McDonald song that you prefer. Yeah, and so yeah, and I don't really like. I don't know what else I got. I really hate. I kind of don't. I really have no opinions on Dan Sobel and Matt Cartret nowadays, and so is Christopher Leon and the rest of the bad YouTube and all the YouTubers I should not be that I couldn't be trusted. So yeah, so for what I've done, yeah, so yeah, and sadly, unfortunately, Fabian's 2003's corner had already blocked me and unsubscribed. So is Nate the Game Media 2006. Unfortunately, I was in the naughty list on the 2026 naughty list. I can't believe I was in a naughty list, but it's a good thing I'm doing a. That's why I decided to make my wrongdoings I because I saw that Fabian's 2003's corner was in the naughty list. But I'm not. I am. I'm not really. I'm not really a bad. I am not really a bad user. I'm not a bad person. I am not really. I'm really a great person. I'm really a good person. and I'm really innocent. I'm not a bad person. I'm just really innocent. And I'll try my best not to do any more drama stuff. I know Nate the Game Media Dude 2006 doesn't want to do any more drama stuff anymore. But for me, it's kind of hard not to do some more drama videos. It'll be hard not to. For me, it's not. For me, do it without doing with no more drama stuff. For me, I don't know if I was doing drama right now, but but being upset is kind of like drama. But yeah, but going without drama would not be easy. So yeah, so I'm really sorry what I've done for me supporting that I shouldn't be that I'm supporting YouTubers that I should not be doing that. Can you forgive me, you guys? Thank you. I hope I hope Fabian 2003's corner would put me on a nice list instead of a naughty list because unfortunately Fabian's 2003's corner had already put me in a naughty list in 2026 because I guess he hates me for no reason. Well, most of all, I was friends with Christopher Leon, but now I regret being friends with him now. So yeah. It's a good thing I blocked Dan Sobel. I'm glad I already blocked him, Dan Sobel, Manicartre, and Christopher Leon right now. And I am never going to be friends with him ever again. Can you guys forgive me? Thank you. So anyways, that was probably I think that's all I gotta say. I'm not sure what else I gotta say with this. So I'm gonna have to let it be. I'm not sure what else I did wrong for me supporting my YouTubers. I I'm not even 100% sure. So yeah. All by myself that is. So yeah. I might redo my wrongdoings on my live stream for my messenger guesses that is. So yeah. So yeah. That's all I gotta say with this video. So subscribe to my channel, everybody. Drop a like on this video, and I'll see you guys next time on next video. Oh yeah, before I'll say goodbye, if you guys don't wanna trust me anymore, if you guys don't forgive me, I'm fine. But please do not ever force me. Don't tell everyone to not trusting me ever. So yeah, and I'm very sorry that I was friends with him and what I've done in the past. So yeah. So yeah. I think that's all I gotta say for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Peace.